Welcome to Nystrom Education. We're delighted that you could join us today. Today we are being visited by Miss Melissa Knowles, who is a librarian at an elementary school in Scottsboro, Alabama. And Melissa is going to be sharing with us today about StrataLogica and the use of our 3D maps. So Melissa, welcome. We're delighted you're here. And let me just go ahead and turn it over to you.
Great, thank you. I'm really excited to be here to share with you the power of the 3D maps that are in StrataLogica. I currently use these maps in my instruction and I'm seeing the benefits and rewards in the students firsthand. So today we're going to be looking at what 3D maps provide for your instruction. Ways to use them with the other resources you already have, and ways to use the maps to enhance your lessons quickly and easily. Well, let's get started. 3D maps have allowed teachers to incorporate technology for all students. It wasn't long ago when I taught third grade and I never had enough maps for the whole class. My course of study was very heavy on map skills in third grade. And frequently the maps didn't contain the information that I needed. They were too small to share a whole group and keep the class on task. With StrataLogica, now each student has their own maps. The map can be customized to the student's needs or the lesson's needs, zoomed in, zoomed out, so the students can see every detail. Also, the maps can be used easily in pre- and post-testing, formative and summative needs, or just a quick quiz to make sure the students are on track to where they need to be. The maps are useful for cross-curricular instruction. My instruction looks considerably different now. Student engagement has increased and off-task behaviors have diminished. Every student wants to be in control and utilize the maps so they keep their behavior in check. Each morning after I arrive at school, I log into email and StrataLogica, leaving both programs open all day. Just last week, a memorable teaching moment occurred. Students began sharing their summer plans. I'm not exactly sure how it came up because we were talking about comparing and contrasting two snowman stories. But I went with it. Quickly opening StrataLogica, each student then dropped a symbol in the area that they planned to go for summer vacation. It was a very quick and easy way to have students then use the compare and contrast concept directly in their lives. What really impressed me about this moment was that it took such a very short time out of my packed day, and it stretched the students' brains. We had comparisons like the beach is closer to the Gulf of Mexico than the Smoky Mountains. San Francisco is on the opposite side of the U.S. than New York. I went farther north last year than I will this year. And these comments could then be seen by all the students and would most likely not have been observed without this visual. This was a group of first graders. 3D maps offer a way to make learning more authentic and custom for your classroom. Authentic real-world learning just makes sense for students' understanding and application of what they learn with us each day. The virtual globe allows students to see exactly how the world is. I am seeing that students are much more able to determine where we live, where they come from now with using these StrataLogica maps than before. No matter what location is referenced in your lesson or what places you choose, StrataLogica allows the map to be zoomed in. This view of Big Ben is so detailed. I love it. The students can see exactly where it is in relation to London and the things that surround it. The tools, excuse me, the tool in the bottom right-hand corner allows you to zoom in and out. You can click the plus sign, slide the blue circle up towards the plus sign to continue zooming in until you let it go, or use the scroll on your mouse. If you didn't want to see it, the landmark close up, you could then zoom out. So you can see Big Ben in relation to London. Once again, you'll use the tool in the bottom right-hand corner. Go to the minus sign this time and click it. to take your zooming out in segments, slide the blue dot down or use the scroll on your mouse viewer, on your mouse. On the left-hand side, you can see the two dots, and I've got an arrow that says dual view. That, if you click that, it then allows you to take the close-up view of Big Ben and the zoomed out view of Big Ben. This is a wonderful compare and contrast feature. In the bottom center, you can see the infinity symbol, which allows you to lock the two screens. That way, the map, if you have it locked, both maps turn, zoom, and are customized simultaneously. If you unlock it, as you see here, you can move and change the maps independently so they show what you are wanting the students to see. If you're reading one of the Around the World in 80 Mystery series, such as The Mystery of Big Ben by Carol Marsh, you can show Big Ben and place a symbol on the zoomed out map. Then each location referenced, you can zoom in and place a symbol on the map of London, which would give the story a great spatial location for the students so they can see the story unfold. Now this dual view map allows you to distinguish what's been happening in Europe and in the Pacific during World War II. These maps both provide dates of events so students can better understand the timeline of how the events occurred during the war. StrataLogica offers an immense variety of pre-made maps. On the left-hand side, the map chooser is there. It is right under the eye. These maps save time and are still able to be customized to your needs. So you can see if you select the drop-down arrow, you'll get lots of different types of maps. There's so many varieties there, historical and thematic maps. This is the precipitation map. To find the map legend, to determine what the colors mean, you click the eye and it will open the map legend for the students. If you click the title of the map, it further explains the map with this pop-up. The pre-made maps also include tips and lessons to use with the map. So if you click on the left-hand side, the bottom tool, it opens up first the tips, and you can see that there are several options of you to use with this map. Then if you click lessons right next to tips, you can see a lesson for the 13 colonies map. Now you've got questions to ask students. You have all of the maps that are used in the lesson. If you were to scroll down further, you would see 2 more documents available to use with this lesson. So if you were to click Establishing Colonies on the bottom, another window would open with this printable PDF file. So not only does StrataLogica offer these great maps, but it supports your classroom with tested lessons for you to start with or modify for your needs immediately. StrataLogica has several built-in tools. They're located in the bottom left-hand corner. If you open Tools, it opens all of your choices. Here you have the writing tool that allows you to draw on the map. You can draw freehand, lines, and different shapes. This is a great tool for highlighting, circling areas of interest, or you can draw an area that's not in a certain shape. You can customize an area that you want to select on your map. I love that the colors are transparent, so you can still utilize those parts of the map even though you've highlighted them for the needs of your lesson. Now the symbols, as you can see here, there are tons of varieties for you to label the maps. This is what I used with the first grade class to label where they were going for summer vacation. But it's a great way that you can label other features too on the maps. The text tool is great for labeling a map maybe that your students customize themselves. When you place your text, it opens a edit options where you can change the color, the font size, and the font. You can also edit the text if you want to change it later. So once you click Done, if you decide there's more changes you'd like to make, just right-click on the text and the edit options will open again. The push pin tool is one of my favorites. When you select the pin, you just click anywhere on the map to drop it. When you do that, you can hyperlink. Here, when you click Facts About Groundhogs, it opens a video on groundhogs, and it also opens the summary area. So that you could put in just information about groundhogs. Here I have step by step what I want the students to do with the map information and also a text that goes along with our reading series. So the video will play, they can complete the activities, and they are engaged and excited about learning. Another option is here. We've put in text. We've put in a primary document photo of the original model that, interestingly enough, took 7 years to create for the Sydney Opera House. And then below it gives the students something to do with the map in the primary document that they see. The erase tool is nice. If you decide you want to just erase one part, you can click on that object, or you can just erase everything on the map. Here are the settings. The settings offer several features. As you see here, I've taken all of the settings off. And let's go through them. Here are roads. You can see that the roads are labeled. In the zoomed out version, you would not see the roads, so I zoomed in to show you the Trevi Fountain. Here are the labels. So you can take them on or off. You can quiz the students, have them write or put it in as a text feature if they're learning about a certain area. There's also label pop-ups. Here I clicked Greece. You can see that it pulled up a flag of Greece. If you clicked play, it would say the word Greece. And then it gives you a little bit more information about facts about Greece below. The day and night feature is interesting. So you can see that the sun is shining on one side, whereas it's dark on the other side. So that's a good feature to use with students to show them different features about timing and other things like that. Here is a grid of the map, so you can utilize that to pinpoint and highlight different areas that way also. You could use that for distance and other things to enhance the lesson. And you can see on the left-hand side of Africa, you can see the coordinates are labeled. So as you go around the globe, you can see that those labels are there for students to use. You could do a seek and find where they had to find certain coordinates. That can also be placed in the search box. Here you can see that distance is measured. Now it will measure straight across. It wouldn't be a driving distance, but it is neat for students. I took a trip one time out of the country, and I wanted the students to see how far away I was from them at any given time. So they had small activities to do with that, so that while I was gone, they learned about where I was going and kept track of where I was. So that was a really interesting way for the students to see. 3D maps and instruction. This is a wonderful map that was in the community that I saved to my gallery, called This Day in History, February 26. And you can see the pins you could zoom in on. I wanted you to see them both at the same time. But these two national parks, Grand Teton and Grand Canyon, were created on the same day, 10 years apart. So that'd be a good bell ringer or exit slip activity to do while you're conferencing with students, something fun for the students to do and some good information. Reading can take you places around the world. As a librarian, I love for students to share what they're reading, share where they have been in their reading, and this would be a great project involving a whole class or a whole school. As students read a book, they can add their pin or symbol or name to the globe so that you can keep track of where everyone has been. You could designate a certain item for each student to use that was their own, so you can see exactly where they have been throughout the year. Then have the students locate the place their book has taken place and drop it on the map. Be sure to label an area unknown locations. There are lots of books that have no real place in the world. And using an activity like this, I just can't help but add in other subject areas. This would be a great way to evaluate and graph data. So as you're collecting your data all year, you can take it and see where the students have been. What is the most common location? What is the least common location? What's an area that the students would like to visit in a book? The science portion of the ACT is also heavy in graphs, so this would be a great way to enhance their graph reading and data evaluating skills. Opening a map of Civil War battles would help students better understand what they are reading also. Here, this is a student that has created a timeline or summary of a historical fiction book that they're reading in literature circles. The textbooks pair well with StrataLogica to enhance instruction. Looking at a foreign location or historical location from the reading series would definitely increase the comprehension of the students and understanding of what was happening in the story. So you can see here that the students have placed pins in the pin. Rather than inserting a picture or a video, they have added a summary about what the character was doing at that time. So as they continue reading the story, they would add in new pins as Jack traveled and continue the story so that by the end they have the entire book in summary before the test, and it will benefit them greatly. Research studies show that students, when they see a map before they have the text, it increases their comprehension. The students learn more features from the map and facts from the text by seeing the map first. Science is another subject that pairs well with StrataLogica. Look at the tainted water in Flint, Michigan. This current event could lead to a lesson on water quality and protecting our earth and health. Where is Flint, Michigan's next source of possible clean water? Well, you can see in the view on the right, the little tiny red dot is Flint, Michigan. And they're actually building a pipe from Lake Huron. So the students can then look at their water quality where they live and how to keep groundwater clean, graph the quality rating in your area, because most people take water quality for granted. Turn on the faucet, but you don't think about how good it is for your health. until something like this happens. So it would be a great way to take students in a current event and let them expand it and learn from it in their area. Research paper and writing skills would be a great addition to this lesson. It would be neat to also use a map like this in StrataLogica to have the students create a project where they have to be newscasters. So while this map is behind them, they can tell the story, tell their findings, whether it's their own area or Flint, Michigan, use that as their background and as their data for their project. It would be a great way for meeting standards. Math is a wonderful subject to use with StrataLogica too. I hope you can see there's really not a subject that does not work with StrataLogica that StrataLogica cannot enhance. The cool weather always makes me think about planning a trip. StrataLogica could then be incorporated with other resources to do a cross-curricular project of planning. From where to go, what to pack, driving directions, places to stay, restaurant prices, gas mileage, budgeting, all real-world events and skills that students need and can utilize in every subject area. So using this event, we can show learning to get students excited. Here you can see a trip to Old San Juan, Puerto Rico. All the required information could be represented on the screen, including sites to reference. So you can see there's a Delta flight, rental house, taxi plus tip, $100. The student found that at taxifarefinder.com. So you can go back and check on the student's math. Did they do it correctly? Food, activities, and souvenirs. Then their daily itinerary could be, as you've seen here, dropped in a pin. Day 2, they're going to go to a famous fort, El Morro. And when you open that, you can see how much it costs for them to go there and where they got their information. So this would be a great way to learn about another area, find some really interesting sites to visit, but also use all of your subject and increase your learning. The Zika virus has currently been in the news and gives students a perfect opportunity to see how viruses spread, especially with the Ebola virus being so current on our minds. Using the maps to look at how viruses spread allows students to visualize the path taken. What method could have allowed the virus to spread so far when it has been contained in a certain part of the world before? So through the maps, they can see the path easily and how it has traveled, what possible things we could do to slow down or stop the travel, and the danger of this virus. I hope that you have been able to see lots of ways that you can utilize maps in your classrooms with the lessons you are already teaching, and find some pre-made lessons that are there for you to make your job easier. So in incorporating StrataLogica and the 3D maps into your classroom, I would love to see you open StrataLogica each day. It needs to be handy for those moments when you need to have it quickly so you can keep the students engaged and on task, like my first grade group. If a location is referenced, the search feature is wonderful. You can even search simply Big Ben or Sydney Opera House, any of those features, mountains, so you can even go that specific. So very easy way to utilize StrataLogica and to give the students a visual right then. Also, take a little bit of time to familiarize yourself with the pre-made maps that are available to you based on your subscription, because they are wonderful to use. And remember, you can always customize them if you need to add a few things in to make it fit your lesson. The tips and lessons are also available with those maps. Also, assign the duties to the students. They love to take over. In fact, they beg to take over. Allow them to have accountability and responsibility of their own learning. StrataLogica gives them that I want to thank you for attending. If there are any questions, we'd be happy to answer them at this time.